My brother was disowned for becoming a firefighter instead of a lawyer. Yesterday he saved our father's life while wearing his uniform growing up. There was only one acceptable career path in our family. Law. My grandfather was a judge. My father a senior partner at his firm. My mother a corporate attorney. My brother Jake was always different. While I dutifully attended pre-law classes, he spent weekends volunteering at the local fire station. Dad called it playing hero and insisted it was just a phase. The fight happened during Jake's final year of college. He'd been accepted to 3 law schools but announced at Sunday dinner that he'd enrolled in the fire academy instead. I'd rather save lives directly than argue about them in court, he said. Dad slammed his fist on the table so hard the glasses shattered. No son of mine will waste his potential running into burning buildings. You have a responsibility to this family. Jake stood his ground. I have a responsibility to myself first. That night Dad changed the locks and packed Jake's belongings in boxes. When you come to your senses, we'll talk. Until then, you are not welcome here. For 3 years, Jake's name was forbidden in our house. Mom secretly sent him birthday cards. I met him for coffee when I could. Dad refused to acknowledge his existence even when Jake graduated top of his class at the academy. Your brother chose his path, Dad would say whenever I brought him up. He chose wrong. Yesterday changed everything. Dad was giving a presentation at a downtown hotel when he collapsed mid-sentence. A piece of food lodged in his throat. As his colleagues panicked, a firefighter who happened to be having lunch in the same restaurant rushed over. It was Jake. In full uniform returning from a call, he performed the Heimlich maneuver, dislodging the obstruction. As Dad gasped for air, Jake held him upright, speaking calmly until the ambulance arrived. I got there just as they were loading Dad into the ambulance. Jake stood off to the side, his uniform dusty from an earlier call. Dad's eyes locked on him, recognition dawning through the oxygen mask at the hospital. We waited silently in the room while doctors ran tests. When Dad was finally alone with Jake, I stood just outside the door. You saved my life, Dad said, his voice hoarse. Just doing my job, Jake replied. The job I told you was beneath you. Jake adjusted Dad's blanket without responding. 3 years, Dad. Continued 3 years. I've told colleagues about my lawyer children. Never mentioned my firefighter son. Let me finish. Dad interrupted today. I watched you take command of a room full of panicking attorneys who didn't know what to do. You knew exactly what to do. Jake's shoulders straightened slightly. I was wrong, Dad said simply. This morning, Dad asked me to bring something from home, parent Jake's childhood photo that had been removed from the wall 3 years ago. When I arrived at the hospital, I found them discussing the structural challenges of high-rise fires. As I left, I heard Dad ask would the department allow an old man to visit the station sometime. I'd like to see where my son works. Jake's voice was steady, but I could hear the smile in it. We give tours on Thursdays, but family can come anytime.